I'm George, and this is the 8th lesson of my Java programming tutorial series. In this episode, I'm going to show you the access modifiers in Java. So let's get started. First of all, you need to know what kind of access modifiers exist in Java. We know 4 types of access modifiers: public, protected, no modifier, and private. For demonstrating these access modifiers, we are going to create 4 classes in 2 different packages. So first of all, let's create the first class, which will be a.aParent. So it will be the aParent class of the A package. And the second class in this package will be aChild. And now we can create the second package, which will be called B, and it will have a bParent and a bChild. After we created these classes, we are going to write some code to the aParent class. We are going to add some fields there: a private field, a no access modifier field, and a protected field. All of these fields will be booleans for the simplicity of this video. And we will have a public field. And I will add the suffix a to this field so we could know that these are in the aParent class. So I am going to create a new method now, which will be called accessFields. And this method will basically try to print the values of all these fields. And it will print the field's name and the field's value. So for example, private field A is private field A. No modifier field A is no modifier field A. Protected field A is protected field A. And of course, public field A is public field A. After reformatting the code, we are going to do the same thing in the other classes too. But before that, we are going to create an interface, which will have a method called accessFields. The interface will be called fieldAccessTester, and all the methods of the interface are public methods, so we don't even need to include the public modifier there because we know that all the methods of the interfaces are public. So the aParent class will implement this fieldAccessTester, and it will basically tell us that we can refer to the aParent as a fieldAccessTester since it implements this interface. The aChild will also implement this interface, and if we implement the interface, then we also need to implement the method, of course. So we are going to press Alt-Enter and click to implement methods and press OK to implement this accessFields method. And we are going to copy the code of the aParent class to the aChild class and rename the fields, add the child suffix there. So like a private field aChild, no modifier field aChild, protected field aChild, and public field aChild. And this aChild will extend the aParent class. And if we extend the aParent class, we don't even need to put the interface here because the aParent class already has that interface, which means that we will also have it in the aChild without mentioning it again. So I'm going to copy these printings. And as you can see, the private fields are for some reason red. So it means an error. And I'm going to show you what is this error actually. I'm going to print all of these 8, so as you can see, it's like that. And actually I can't print all the 8 because the private fields are only accessible from the classes where they were declared. And I can access all the other fields which has other modifiers. So now we are going to first of all add some code to the bParent, and bParent will actually extend the aParent class. And we need to implement this accessFields method, of course, and we are going to just copy this whole code there from the aParent and rename all these fields to private field B, no modifier field B, protected field B, and public field B. And we are going to copy all these tests, what we made in the aChild class. Wow! As you can see, there are lots of errors. First of all, we can't really access the no modifier field, and the reason for that is that no modifier fields can only be accessed from the same package where they were declared. And since this no modifier field A was declared in the package A and not in package B, it cannot be accessed from the package B. So what about these other 4? We just need to rename them because we want to access our own fields. So the own fields of the bParent class. And as you can see, there is no issue there. So you can access all the fields independently from the modifier from the same class, like all the time. So let's do something with the bChild class too. And this will be a special class. I don't want to make it being the child class of the bParent class, so I'm going to do something else here. And what I'm going to do will be creating new instances of these previous classes. So for example, create a new aChild, also create a new aParent, and of course create a new bParent instance. So we have 3 instances of 3 different classes now, and let's just try to access all of these fields what these 3 classes have actually. And for doing that we need to add the object's name dot the field name, of course. You already know that because I have shown you this in previous episodes of this series. If you didn't know that you need to access it that way, you should watch these previous episodes. Since this is a video tutorial, so you always have a chance to watch the previous videos if you don't remember from something what I am doing in the last episode. And of course, you already know what are these errors for a no modifier and the private field. Private fields are not accessible because we are not trying to access them from the same class, and no modifier fields are not as accessible because we are not trying to access them from the same package, because we are in the B package now and not in the package A. But as you can see, we also cannot access the protected field, and the reason for that is that protected fields can only be accessed by classes in the same package or classes extending the class where these fields were declared. I'm going to add these comments there, so when you download this source code from the GitHub, you will be able to see what are the reasons behind these fields not being accessible. And of course, public fields can always be accessed, so there is no issue with them. If you just make all of your fields public, then you won't need to care about such stuff, but you don't really want to do that because you want to hide some of your fields from the client code. So from other people's code who are using your software as a library or who are just extending your software. So you want to hide some of your fields from those people and from those applications. And you can see the same applies to aChild, so I'm not going to write this down again because that won't make any sense actually. So what we can do now is check the bParent, and it has the same thing basically. So we can check the bParent now and print all these fields for the bParent too. And as you can see, we can access almost all of these fields except the private, of course, but we have no issue with accessing the no modifier field and the protected field and the public field because we are in the B package and not in the A package. The thing what I told you is actually true. That's the proof for it. And the last thing what I am going to show you in this video will be the way how you can apply these access modifiers to methods instead of fields. But before doing that, we are going to test this program. So we are going to create an array of field access testers, which will contain a new instance of all of these field access testers. So all the classes which we created and which are implementing the field access tester interface. And we will just loop through them and print the result of the access fields method. We can use the for loop here like we did with the lists. And now you also know how to create these arrays in Java. And we can also refer to the class name using the t.getClass.getSimpleName. And if we want to get the fully classified class name, so the class name with the full package name, then we can do t.getClass.getName. So let's run the program so you could see what is the result of all of these things what we wrote here. And you see everything is working as I said, except there is an issue. Did you spot the issue? Did you spot it? That's not an issue. That's fine. So what is the issue? What do you think? Comment below. Comment below right now before I show you it. Did you comment it? I hope you did comment it. You still have some time to do it. Okay, so if you have already commented or you already commented that you don't know what the issue is, I'm going to show you what is it. And the only issue we had is with this testing B parent, and we are testing the A childs there. It's not making sense. The private field A child should not be accessible from the B parent. And the reason for these messages are that I just used the incorrect names there in the system out println line. So we are going to fix this issue quickly. And after fixing this issue, we can run the program again. As you can see, it works fine. So the last thing what I am going to show you in this video will be the access modifiers applied to methods. So first of all, just try to create a new method called private achild, which will print called private achild method. And it should be just void method instead of boolean, because I'm not really interested about any kind of return value here. So called private achild method, and we are also going to call it, of course. And we are going to create new methods for the other access modifiers as well. But before doing that, we are going to call this private, how was it called? Private achild method. As you can see, the same applies to methods what apply to fields, that private methods can only be called from the same class where they were declared. So you cannot call any kind of private methods of other classes at all. And let's create a no access modifier method now. And of course a protected method, and also create a new public method. Try to call these methods now from the bchild class. So we go to the bchild class and we write achild.protected achild method. And as you can see, IntelliJ shows it with red color, because achild classes protected achild method can only be accessed from the achild class, or from any class which extends the achild class, or from classes which are in the same package where the achild class is. Now we are going to call the achild classes no modifier achild method, which can also not be called from here, because no access modifier methods can only be called from the classes which are in the same package as the class where the method is declared. And now we can try to access the achild class's public achild method. And as you can see, IntelliJ IDEA is not showing any error here, which means that it can be accessed, because public methods can be accessed from everywhere, basically. Let's try to do the same thing in the bparent class to see what's the difference here. And of course, we need to create these methods. So we are going to create a new protected achild method. And now let's copy this code to the bparent class and try to access the methods of the aparent class, which we are going to create right now. So we are going to initialize a new aparent instead of an achild, and we are going to rename it to be aparent, and of course change all these references to it. And we are going to create this new protected aparent method. We can use the Shift plus F6 for renaming a method, but we are not going to do that because it will also rename the previous method which has this name. So we don't want to do it. We are just going to do it manually. And as you can see, the protected aparent method cannot be accessed because it's kind of interesting. Why can't it be accessed? What do you think? Comment below. What do you think? Why can't it be accessed from the bparent class, since the bparent class is extending the aparent class? So this is kind of weird, and I want you to figure out why is that, but I will tell it in the end of this video. We are going to create a new method, which will be the no modifier method. So aparent.no modifier parent method. And as you can see, that also cannot be accessed from the bparent class. But we are extending the aparent, so what is going on? What do you think? Really? So weird that we can't access all these methods when we could have accessed them if there were fields actually. So, do you know the secret? Why is that we can't access them? Make sure to comment below if you know it. Make sure to comment below. If you don't know it, then also comment below and just guess. Write some guesses. What do you think? Why can't we access these two methods? Also, if you didn't subscribe to my YouTube channel yet, make sure to do so, and also click the notification bell so you could get notified when I upload my next episode of this series. And of course, click to the like button and like other people's comments too if you think that what they said is relevant to this content. So now I am going to show you the secret. Are you ready? I'm going to write here as a comment what is going on. So protected methods cannot be called only overridden by subclasses. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to show you how to override these. So like that. You just start to write the name of the methods, and IntelliJ IDEA will offer you this option to actually override it, and the code actually looks like that. That you write @override annotation and the method's name, and that's it basically. And after it's overridden, you can access them. So that's the trick. That's what you need to do. And there is a little problem. As you can see, the no modifier parent method cannot be even overridden because it can only be accessed from the A package. So the same applies here, what applies to the fields too, about these no modifier methods. And now it's time for a homework. So your homework after watching this video will be doing the following. Make a C class having 3 public methods extending the A parent, and add this C class to this field access testers array. It's pretty simple. So I hope you will be able to do it, and make sure to leave a comment with your solution of your homework so others could see it.